testing, 1, 2. Hey everybody, just getting ready to go on. Lots of technical issues today. Let's hope we get through this. About another 3 minutes. Feeling a little bit under the weather today. Left. starting Let's go. All right, everybody, welcome back. It is Friday, Fun Friday. My name is Abe Duque. I am here with you as I am every Friday at 1 p.m. 343 TV. We are from 343 Labs. It's a school. We teach you guys how to do the stuff that you want to learn all about. Electronic music, mixing and mastering, sound design, whatever. Come in, check out our website and see if there's a class that you might want to sign up for. Maybe you could take a class with me or one of our many gifted instructors. Anyway, as I said, I'm Abe Duque, and I'm here again. Last week we were working on a track, and I wanted to continue work on it. But before we do continue, let me just talk to the people that are in the chat, or just say hi. Tadillas is here. Natas is here. Alexander Bratz and TI-80 Mark is here as well. Just wanted to say hello. And we have a special surprise for today. I have somebody waiting to come in and talk to us a little. Let's see if I can get him on here. And let's see, guest one. That would be. There we are. There's everybody. This is Big Bill Bancroft, as he's known around these parts. He's one of the regulars in the chat, and I told you guys last week if you wanted to, you could come in and be part of the kind of like gallery of what did you call it, Bill?
Peanut Gallery.
Well, no, you didn't call it Peanut Gallery. You called it something else in the email. It was fun. It was a good name. We got to coin that phrase. But yeah, here's Bill. Bill's going to be here. He's going to sit here and just kind of hang out and talk with us and do the thing that we do here. And yeah, as I said, if you guys want to come on, we can surely get that going. I might have a second person coming on later, but let's see if they actually manage to do so. So, Bill, what have you been up to?
Well, I guess recently I've been kind of exploring drum and bass with 343. So
Bill is like a very he's a staple around 343. He's one of our students. He's taken, I think, every class there is, and he's taken like every workshop there is, and he's done everything, and he's always at in these streams in the chat, and right now I guess you're doing the 343 studio.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And you started to make some drum and bass. You've never made drum and bass before, and because of the sample challenge,
BPM. Yeah.
Yeah. What is the BPM of the sample challenge this month or week?
It's fast. It's 190, I think.
Yeah, it's a pretty fast BPM. And so, wow, great. Yeah, that's great. Bill is an amazing producer. If you guys ever get a chance to listen to his stuff, it's pretty spot on. He should be going pro very soon. Anyway, let's go to the Ableton screen. How about that? And let's see. How do I get there? Ableton. I set one up for Bill and there he is, and there I am. All right. So last week we were working back. The last couple of weeks we've been working on this track, And let's just remind you what we've done so far. Here's an 808 that we kind of made a little bit heavier with the thermionic culture vulture. If you remember that, the thermionic culture vulture is a awesome saturator. And if you want to hear the difference, that's the difference without and with, giving it some body and some girth. And let's see what else we have here. Oh yeah, we recorded some 303 lines here. I just wanted to use it as a bass line, not as like an acid thing. Let's see what else I have here. I recorded a few of them, variations, I guess. And I guess I could use them at different times to switch up the bass lines. One thing I like to do is just color things differently when they're just different parts, just so when I have them in there, I can kind of keep track of what I've been, and I'm randomly coloring these parts here. So we have that kick drum. We have that 303. Did we process the 303? No, we did not. Let's do a little processing on the 303 right now. And let's see how we're going to go about this. I would like to have a little bit of compression on it. And I'm going to pick one of my UAD compressors. Maybe, let's see. Maybe the API 2500. It's a very nice compressor. It's a lot like the glue compressor. And you could hear it compressing the living daylights out of it right now. It's not what we really want to do, compress the living daylights out of it. We just want to maybe, have it compress some. So let's get that threshold in the other direction. Lower that attack so that, let's get a little compression going here. I don't want to catch the transients too much on it. I don't have to let the transients come through. And if you don't know, a transient is the beginning of a sound. And with a slower attack, you let the beginning of the sound pass through. And let's see, the ratio, we can do that 3-to-1 maybe even less, maybe 2-to-1. I'm really just trying to do some light compression in here. And maybe a faster release, a little bit of a faster release. Let's see what that. Let's get a little more compression going. And let's see what this is doing. Yeah, it's nice and polished. Let's bring that back. TI-80 Mark says Bill's stuff is always great. How we doing there, Bill?
Good. Sounds really good.
Okay, so let's go to the next part. This part, I guess it's just a bunch of drum parts that I still didn't break up yet. So I'm not going to deal with that yet. But I did this from, what did we do this with? I forgot what we used to make this, but it's a nice little kind of alternate little bass part. I like putting like parts that belong together. I like to put them together so that they so when mixing time comes, I can mix them together. Or if I got 3 bass lines, you don't want to go all the way around the mix to find your bass lines, right? And what do we have here? Okay, so this is another part that we wrote, and we modulated that. We modulated that with, and we were doing this last week. We were playing with the Shaper device in Ableton. The Shaper device allows for some modulation to happen according to whatever pattern you write, and it goes at the
So
rate that
Abe,
you set it. Yeah.
Alessandro is asking about sidechain compression,
Yeah.
and I think it might be related to the shaper you're using as well, or could be related.
Okay, so no, he says, what settings do you mostly use when doing sidechain compression? So, I don't know if you realize we're not really doing sidechain compression here, but we're using the shaper in lieu of the sidechain compressor, which I think is actually a better way to go about doing this, because you could be very precise with how you're. Once again, in review, how this works. Let's do it on another part. Let's just do it on the. Let's do it on this 303 line here, and let me go. Let's do the traditional sidechain compression situation. So I'm gonna go for. I guess I can need an audio effect and maybe a compressor to go in there. Drop a compressor in there, and I gotta switch it to sidechain mode and select an input for my sidechain. And in this case, it'll be my 808 bass drum. And now I can see that 808 is actually triggering that compressor. I like to go all the way to infinity to 1, and then set the attack and release accordingly. Okay, so that's that. That's using the sidechain compressor scenario. To get that done, maybe we'll do it in peak instead of RMS. Okay, so that's that. But with the shaper, you can do it a little different. Let's try it with the shaper. So the shaper is an audio effect, I believe. Or is it? Yeah, so it's in the audio effects. So I'll drop it in here. And I basically can map, say, the level of this to deal with a parameter. So, and I guess in this case, I might want it to be that way, or I might just make whatever pattern I want. I've chosen quarter notes, but I can do it at, whatever value I want to set it at. With the depth, I can see how much action it's going to give. So the range, with lower depth, lower range of action. With more depth, more range of action. And with the offset, I could go up or down. So the offset, in a way, becomes your volume control here. Let's turn this guy on. So you see, and now maybe that's perfect, maybe it's not, but it doesn't matter, because I can continue to create all sorts of wacky things that'll happen. And this is why somehow maybe the shaper is a little better than sidechain compression. And let's take off both, because I didn't really want either. All right. So
can you use the shaper to filter the cutoff? Or?
Can we use the shaper to filter the cutoff? Yes, we could do that if we wanted to. If you wanted the cutoff on what? On a filter. So if I grab the filter and put an auto filter in here, and grab the shaper once again, and mapped it to. You could map it to whatever you want. So I'm mapping it to the frequency now. And change the depth. And so I can get all sorts of action going on there, depending on what I draw out.
That's kind of interesting.
It's super surgical. So let's try. Oh, did you guys know though? I don't know, Bill. Did you know that the the auto filter has side chaining capabilities as well.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you open it up here, you see the side chain. Now you're not going to see this move, but you can have the filter close and open by setting a side chain. I'll set it to the kick. Now you're going to need it. If you want it to close, it's going to have to go in this direction in the envelope. But you hear it. You hear the action, and you see attack and release for it. Too bad it doesn't move this thing, because if it moved it, you'd be totally, you know, it's so much better when you could see things, you know. Okay, so if you want it to go this way, it's going to go that way, but there's no room for it to move, so then you'd have to give it some room to move there. See how that moves, and that moves to the kick because the kick is our sidechain source.
Sounds like the reso got upped a little there.
Oh yeah, I think it comes by default a little with a little res. Max wants to know what bass sound I'm using. Max, I bet if you think about me, you know what bass sound I'm using. Because actually that's kind of cool. I'm going to leave that with the auto filter. And the answer to that question, Max, is the TB303. All right, all our levels are getting a little high, so I'm gonna take all the levels and somehow lower them. Now here's a problem, because normally you'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take all the levels and bring them down, right? So because you could select all channels, right, and then bring them down. But the problem is on the ones with automation on it, you're gonna have a problem because it won't follow what you're trying to do. So what I need to do is put this in a group by itself, and that way I have a volume control on this right here. And then when I select all channels once again, and that would be the same for this hat over here, but then I have a volume control, and the automation that's happening in here is happening, you know, regardless. It stays relative to the level out here. And let's switch out another baseline. From time to time I want to refresh myself on understanding what parts I have. Okay, so so we're reviewing still. So here we are. How did I do this one? Again, shaper to get this action going for this. I got both the panning, one to control the panning and one to control the level on that hi-hat. If I turn these off, where is it? It would be this one. Somehow it's mapped so I cannot turn it off. I would have to unmap it. But this part is moving left and right with the panning, and also doing the whole kind of sidechainy thing that you could do with shaper. You know, before shaper, I would have to use a device. Let me show you what I used to use before shaper, because I've been using a shaper, and let me show you this device from Cable Guys, I think it's called, the people that make it. It's called the Shaper Box. And well, it's taking a second to load, but this Shaper Box can do sort of the same thing, maybe a little fancier. But I think the total inspiration, I guess, for what Ableton gave us in Shaper, since this is called Shaper Box and it's been around for 3 or 4 years, and then Ableton comes out with this guy called Shaper. So, but hey, you have to pay for this one. The Shaper you don't have to pay for. If you have Ableton, you have Shaper.
So I think Alessandro is interested in knowing if there's a Ableton dynamic EQ the way they have in Fab Filter.
No, that would be nice to have a dynamic EQ, but I mean that's a lot to ask for from a DAW. Is there a way to set up a dynamic EQ? Maybe with an envelope follower of some sort, but it would take a lot of tinkering about with like racks and experimentations. That's what I love about Ableton and Bitwig as well, that you can just put things together, and kind of be a mad scientist with these devices. But you do have to kind of tinker. All right, let's go on. What do I have here? What is this part here? It's kind of quiet. Okay. I don't know where that came about from. We'll leave it out for now. And it's our hi-hat, which has this has the new MIDI shapers, because the shaper MIDI it's called. And this is good because these go to what you program in a MIDI clip. And so you can make the triggering kind of happen to whatever you trigger in the clip. So you could have several different clips triggering different patterns. So let's say this one has this. So let's copy these guys real quick and drop them in here. And let's switch them up. Let's take that and make that happen like this, and that and make that happen like that, and that and happen like that. And this one we can just take a few out because it's just kind of running always. And now you see that if I switch, I could have different, and maybe I make a copy of this one too, so that I could just do it all by, and it's cool because if you have it in a group, you could trigger them all together. So everything will go on this one, and everything on that second row will go with that one. So shaper MIDI, pretty cool. Oh yeah, this is we use that DSFM. I love that DSFM. Super nice little percussive device. Let's put that near the bass lines. As I said, anything that's kind of bass oriented, I like to put to the left. Kind of mix it all together. When I first start mixing a record, I usually mix from left to right, and I keep the low end stuff, like these things happening on here, because when you mix something, when you get these things right, like if you get these parts right, you basically it's downhill from there. Like if everything is a nice pocket in the mix, from the bass and the kick and the groove, everything everything else will be easier, like to get going in there. All right, so now we caught up to what we've done so far. Let's see, what's the chat saying, Bill? TDR Nova is a nice free EQ with dynamic capability. That's good to know. Yeah, dynamic EQ is awesome. Let's just demo that for a second, because people need to know what we're talking about sometimes. So let's do it on this hat. And I have a couple of dynamic EQs, but I use the Fab Filter one. And the Fab Filter one is probably the one most people use. I think Ozone has dynamic EQ going on for them. Isotope Ozone. Okay, where's the Pro Q3? That's what I need. So loading up. Hey, it's about halfway through the show. And just to remind you, you're watching 343 TV. My name is Abe Duque. I am an instructor at 343 Labs. We have classes online and in Berlin and New York City in our schools there. If you want to see more of this stuff and maybe have us teach you personally, come and visit our website. Maybe you can take a class with us and see what this is all about. We have another effort going on right now called 343 Studio, which is basically a dojo for music producers. I know that Bill has been part of 343 Studio. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, it's been great.
What's your experience been like so far?
Well, it's just really nice to be able to get feedback on the songs you might be working on. It's also led to some interesting remix opportunities for me, um, and the collaborations have been really interesting. I can see Aaron Walker in the chat, and I had a fun collaboration with him. And he's got a beautiful jazz background, so wonderful composer.
Yeah, so we have collaboration sessions, we have mentorship, we have feedback sessions, we have master classes, right, from time to time, all sorts of action it's a subscription based thing. So come on, check it out. 343 Studio. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep moving here. So I was trying to show you the dynamic EQ possibilities. So the idea behind dynamic EQ, and I was thinking maybe I picked the wrong sound for it, but whatever. We'll work with it. So basically, what I'm going to do is normally with EQ, you pick a frequency, right? You set the Q, which stands for quality factor, and then you either boost or cut it, right? And you live with it. Right? But in dynamic EQ, you can do it differently. You could set the frequency and then right click on it, on this case, and make it dynamic. And now it basically is a compressor. And I got to work this outer ring. So sometimes it's hard to grab that outer ring for some reason. But if I go in one direction, here we go. I'm going in this direction. Now it's becoming an upward compression EQ, where so when the sound gets loud here, it actually pulls it up louder. That's cool. And the other way would be when the sound gets too much here, it gets pulled down, and the EQ, well, the compression happens. So if you have a dynamic EQ, this is what a de-esser does. This is exactly what a de-esser does. You could just have this and not have a de-esser. Lots of possibilities for working with your sound with dynamic EQ. And I've never tried the Arrow one. Have you tried it, Bill? That Arrow EQ that we were talking about?
No, I've got the Fab Filter one.
Okay, so see who else. Initial Audio also has a cheap dynamic EQ I hear. I'm reading off the chat. All right, so let's keep on going here. So basically, what I had a huge nightmare getting ready for this show today. My computer crashed completely in the worst possible way, and I couldn't get it going. And we basically made it in the nick of time, right? But Bill was convinced that we were gonna just. He said, "All right." He actually wrote me a message saying, "Oh, next time, sorry." And I was like, "No, let's go for it. Let's try it. Let's still hold on to hope." And we got it going, but I didn't get to do much of the prepping that I wanted to do. But what I did do is I grabbed a grand piano sound, and I wrote some parts with it. And just pull this out like this, and I'll play what I wrote in there. Here's what I usually do. I don't force myself or or give myself too much pressure to like come up with a particular part that I'm hearing in my head. Unless I'm totally hearing a part in my head, and then I just work it out and record it, right? But sometimes I know sort of the feeling of what I want to get in there, and I know what sort of part should be written. So I'll just start recording, and I usually pick a piano sound to do this with. And the reason I pick a piano sound is because a piano sound can go in very many different directions. You can write a bass line with a piano sound. You could also play chords on a piano sound. You could play a high melody with a piano sound, right? You can cover a lot of range, and it really works out to getting things going on. Tokyo Dawn Labs has a free dynamic EQ called Nova, says TIA80 Mark. So many dynamic EQs out there. See, this chat is amazing because you guys are helping all of us out here and to figure out what we can grab for free. Tokyo Labs usually does stuff for free. They've had, I remember Tokyo Labs maybe even 11, 12 years ago having some pretty amazing EQs for free. They were always doing this free thing. But anyway, I kind of just laid down in front of the piano, and not laid down in front of the piano, but got in front of the piano and laid out some recordings here. And basically, here's what I just played out some things. I kind of like that first chord, and I already kind of went through that here, and I just kind of saved that part there. And now let's go for another part. So what I'll usually do is like I'll decide, do I want to like have a 4-bar part or a 2-bar part? Well, let's see, and then I'll just play through, and if I find something that I like, I'll just keep it. I don't make it. Well, that's too many notes. Too many notes again. But it's better to have played this in before, because whenever I ever try to play parts while I'm doing the stream, I'm always got the deer in the headlights thing going, and I can't get any parts in there that I like. Keep it going here. Look for some chords. I kind of like that. So I'm going to take that, copy it, drop it in there, and then keep going. Where's that modulation coming from? Sounds great, but I have no idea where it's coming from. Is that from you, Bill?
I hope not.
So I just play around, kind of have fun. I don't put any pressure on myself. And then I take the time later to like kind of just listen through some parts. I'll just take a 2-bar part there. I'll pull that down and keep going. And we'll get to some more parts. And for time's sake, I'm just going to keep those parts there. So I got 4 parts. I'm going to create 4 MIDI tracks and drop them all into, I created 5, so let's get rid of one of them. And put one here, one here, one here, and one here. So I'm going to let Bill pick. What Ableton synthesizer would you like me to play with right now for one of these parts?
Let's do a FM synth.
Oh, FM. It's funny, but I was thinking about FM earlier. Here comes that modulation again.
Something ringy.
Yeah, but I don't know why it suddenly appears like after a couple of minutes of playing stuff. Nata says this tip is gold. Learned this from you in the summer Ableton courses. Use it all the time. Oh, well, I'm glad. Okay, so let's grab an FM synth. And what does FM stand for, Bill? Let's see if I'll test Bill on
Frequency modulation.
And what's the principle behind frequency modulation while I get it all ready to go?
It adds harmonics to the basic frequency.
Right, so let's see. We have, in this case, so basically right now we're playing a sine wave. And that's a nice sound, but if I add more harmonics by causing some FM to happen, I can get an organ sound pretty quickly. And maybe a little bit high. That, together with a filter, and let's see how our amp envelope is working. Let's get a little effect on that. That's not bad. That'll cut it for now. What do you say, Bill?
Yeah, I think it.
All right, what's the next one going to be? What other synth can we play with?
How about an analog sound?
Okay, it's analog synth. It's modeling an old 80s or late 70s poly synth. There goes that modulation again. I don't know where it's coming from. All right, let's play this part into it. Let's get a little bit of little attack going on there. Let's switch out to a saw on the second oscillator. Solo it for a second. And detuning oscillators off each other gives you a really fat sound. And let's add some reverb. And play a little with the filter. All right. I'm not sad about that. Let's leave it down like there. Okay, next one. What's the next one going to be, Bill?
I'm sort of thinking something percussive with a granular synthesis on it. So maybe.
Well, we have melody. We have kind of these parts here. So. You want a percussive part for one of the... Okay, granular?
Shorten it up and then maybe throw a granular on top.
A granular what?
Well, how about the granular synth? Does that have an oscillator or not?
That, you need a sample to throw into that.
Oh, okay.
Let's try wavetable for now. There is a grain delay. Alexander Bratz wants wavetable. I already picked it. Hey, you guys, if you like what you're seeing, you can give us a like. Give Bill a like today. Maybe also subscribe. Let's see how many subscribers we have so far. 25K. Wow, that's great. Yeah, if you like what you're seeing, please give us a like. That'll make it so that Bill will come back. Okay, I got this. Let's pick another. Any favorite wavetable here for you, Bill?
I don't know them that well.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. That's true. I don't know them that well either. Let's pick something like that and then give it some movement. Let's do this. Make them shorter. And then let's add
Modulate the position on the wavetable?
Yeah, let's modulate the position either with a LFO or an envelope. Let's do it with this auxiliary envelope here. So wave position would be this one here. And let's get that. So did we get the right thing? Wave position. Oh, the thing is I have to find the right. Okay. You got to give room for it to modulate.
Gabriel likes the wavetable sound.
Oh, thanks. Let's put some delay on it. Let's play it in. What happens if we try some FM on it? We could totally ruin it, but too much. Little FM.
I think the FM doesn't sound bad.
No, it doesn't sound bad. That's true. But it became another sound somehow. So it's more belly. Hey, Michael Black is here.
Is it got a high resonance?
No. I mean, for the filter, there's only 23. But resonance on what?
Oh, I don't know. Just sort of high frequency.
Let's see. All right, let's put a pin in that for a second, and let's go to the last part here. Now, I'll just remind you all that I made these parts by just sitting in front of the piano, not carrying, and just kind of writing little things here and there, not putting any pressure on myself. And then went through a good 2 minutes of me doing that and picked out a couple of phrases that actually weren't horrible. And it's sort of working out for us. What do you think, Bill?
Yeah, Alessandro says it sounds tropical, and I was kind of thinking that it has a pretty happy vibe,
Okay, let's do this last one. What are we going to do with this one? I don't want to use anything like tension or anything like that. I'm not really a fan of tension or collision. Collision is okay. It's an interesting synth. Maybe. How about we grab a Max for Live synth? There's some pretty cool Max for Live synths. Have you played a lot with Max for Live, Bill?
Not so much.
So yeah, Max for Live has some very nice synthesizers, like this Casio is like a CZ101 sort of emulation. Then you have these Cat ones by this guy Katsuhiro Chiba, who makes some very nice synths, simple synths, but they sound great. The oscillators sound great, and the filters sound great on it. Like I like this August one a lot. It's very 80s sounding. I can just go through some of the presets. See how 80s sounding it is?
Yeah, it's super retro. It's nice. It's synth wavy.
There goes that resonance again. Let's find another sound. Oh, nice sweeping sounds. I'm just gonna. There's not that many presets in there. I'm just gonna go through them for now. We made enough sounds from scratch.
How about throwing a shaper on that?
The shaper to do what?
Kind of take some of it, maybe just so it comes in the second half of every second beat, maybe.
I don't know what you mean.
Well,
The shaper on the MIDI, the shaper MIDI, or the shaper? There's two shapers.
I guess I don't really know what I'm talking about.
So you wanted to, okay, so you wanted to modulate what? Something in particular, right? The shaper is going to modulate something, whether it be volume or panning or one of the parameters on here.
Yeah, the volume.
So you wanted to do this? Something like that?
Maybe not.
Well, let's try it. I mean, why not? Let's go to the shaper and drop it in there. And then we map it. Parameter, volume, or should we do cutoff? Let's try cutoff for a second. Let's try this. That's crazy. That's kind of crazy. Had a little effect on that. Okay, I like that. That was a good call,
That's
Bill.
not bad.
That's a pretty cool effect really quickly, right?
It lets some of the other sounds come through.
Well, I kind of muted the other sounds. These things shouldn't play all at the same time. Yeah, but it's a good call on the shaper there. A nice choppy sort of. That's pretty cool. All right. Got a lot of nice parts here. What's happening in the chat? Sounds good. Sounds cool. Hi, Simple Sam. Simple Sam is here. Where is Simple Sam?
He's in there. Let's get
He's
him
in
on the
there?
broadcast.
He has the link to come on. He can come on at any time. Is he really in here? I haven't seen him write anything. I think
Maybe he's not here.
maybe he's not here today, or maybe he's shy, and he didn't want to come on the. Let's see. I'm gonna see if he responded to my email. Cause I wanted to have Simple Sam on the show today too, but okay. And look, the offer stands for anybody that we won't be able to do it every week, and we won't be able to do it guaranteed. But if you want to try to come on the show, that would be not a bad thing. If you see now with Bill here, it makes it a little less lonely for me to sit and make sounds. All right, so let's make review with our parts here. Let's just got my kick drum. Make it a little louder. Got my bass line. My bass lines. I got a lot of bass stuff. Got that. I got that. Okay, that's part of the same thing. And then, so I got like 3 bass lines in one. So I'm just gonna put all the bass lines in in one group. Make it easier to deal with things. I'll just call this bass, and when I want to deal with it individually, I'll open it up, but when not, I'll just close it down like this. I really like that part, Bill. That one with the August.
It's cool,
yeah. Hey everybody, if you have Ableton and you're playing with Max for Live, you should have this Katsuhiro Chiba August and all of his synths. But this synth is a beautiful little synth. It's super simple, but it's amazing. It just has this totally retro sound to it. Yeah, they'll have to be staggered as to when they play. I'll probably set up a controller next week and get some modulation going in there. There's that crazy resonance. I don't know where it's coming from. It's kind of cool, so I've not been hunting it down to get rid of it. But it just happens like every 2 or 3 minutes? It pops out of nowhere.
I wonder if it's in a group or something.
I don't know. It's somewhere, that's for sure. So here's that original piano thing. I'm going to get rid of that. Clean up as much as you can when you're working on things. You want to keep things as neat as possible. Yeah, this is good. All right. So I think we got a lot going on. I'm going to save it before my computer crashes again. It doesn't let me save it anymore. That way, next week, we can move on with it. I'd like to finish it, on the stream. It's really hard to make a track and finish it on the stream. First you have an hour, then everybody's watching you, and you got to keep track of all this other technology going on and monitor the chat and now talk to Bill. Now Bill is actually is a lot easier with Bill sitting here. He's got great ideas and is a good sounding board, I guess.
I think being in a live stream makes me concentrate more. I'm paying more attention than when I'm in class.
Okay, so Gabriel Vela says this track reminds me a lot of the good old Crowbar nights, right? Okay, so let's start wrapping it up. I guess it's almost that time. So once again, just letting you know what you're watching. You're watching 343 TV. My name is Abe Duque with my friend Bill Bancroft today. Big Bill Bancroft. You should check out his music. Come and join 343 Studio, and you'll be all together with Bill Bancroft because Bill is, a big member of the 343 Studio community. And if not, then come to 343labs.com and take a class with us. I teach several classes. I have a class starting next week, Bill. I have a mixing and mastering class starting Tuesdays and Thursdays next week. 7:15
That's
p.m.
a really good one. I love that class.
Thanks. Yeah, next week, Tuesday and Thursday, 7:15, and it goes for 12 sessions. And what else do I have going on? I guess I have. And I have an in-person Ableton class starting in the school in New York, and that's going to be a Sundays thing. We'll be meeting at 3, I believe. 3:15, and we'll be it'll be an advanced Ableton, sort of find your own sound, sort of. We had a lot of fun with the last session. We did that find your own sound thing. We really were just exploring everybody's tracks and just making, our sounds pop. There is a pretty rigid curriculum as well, but we went to focusing on just making our tracks sound amazing, and it was a great group. And that's, I think, in the beginning of June, maybe, I'm not sure, it's the first week of June or something like that. Anyway, Where can we hear your music, Bill? Somebody, Alexandra's asking.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. SoundCloud. The My producer name is Xenopus or Xenopus.
Can you spell that?
Opus. Yeah, I'll stick it in the chat.
And yeah,
It means
if you guys want
frog.
to hear, Bill's an amazing producer. You're gonna see. You're gonna listen to his music. You're gonna be like shocked at how amazing he is. I listen to his stuff. I get jealous. I'm like, wow, where does this music come from? Anyway, all right. So once again, if you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to our channel. Give us a like. It'd be really nice if we can impress our friends with likes and shares and subscriptions and all that. Xenopus. I just saw that. That's a pretty cool. So it's just Xenopus at SoundCloud, or
Well, yeah. It was, my my daughter really liked frogs, and so a few years ago, we're like, oh, she's like, well, the name of a frog genus is Xenopus. I'm like, hey, great producer name. So
you got it, man. Definitely. All right, Alexander's going to check it out. Everybody should check his music out. Anyway, that's it for today. I guess we're going to shut it down for today, and we'll pick this up next week. And yeah, just keep on making music and come to our website. Take a class. All right. Take care, everybody.